Guys, this phone is easily becoming one of the hottest devices that's being talked about right now. So now I'm going to answer some questions. I get the same question, is this better than the J7? Is this better than this? So I'm going to answer it officially in this video. So stay tuned. All right, guys, so here we are. The main question I've been getting is, in all the videos that I post when it comes to this phone, is it better than, and then they fill in the blank with the device of their choice. Now, believe it or not, it's been these two devices. And it's probably because I said these two devices were great at one point, and let me tell you, they're still great. Here's the thing. Technology changes very fast, and we know this. And it is what it is. Companies are going to battle it out like you guys battle it out in the comments. We want to get the best. Well, I don't think you're ever going to be able to just get the best, because the best keeps changing. The best keeps getting better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to answer some questions, and at the end of this video, or during the video, just keep watching. I'll decide which one of these phones I would recommend to a person. Now, let me clear out some emails and stuff here, because they're going to pop up over and over again. All right, so let's start with the techie stuff. Got to get the techie stuff out of the way. Let's start with the G4. And in this video, I'm going to tell you what some of these phones have and what some can't do, which is better in my opinion, and that's what it's going to be about. So this one came first, the J7. The J7 is the oldest device of all of these right here. It has a 5.5-inch Super AMOLED display. Now, you guys know how I feel about AMOLED displays. I think they're the best on the market, and there's just no getting around it. They are good. Set this brightest. So, this phone has a 5.5-inch Super AMOLED display. I'm going to check these off as I go along. I'm just going to tell you which one I think is better. So 5.5-inch AMOLED, Super AMOLED 720p display, 1280 by 720, 5.5 inches. This one has a 5.5-inch 1080p IPS display, 5.5 inches. This one has a 6-inch 1080p IPS display. So when you talk about the displays, a person might say, well, Jay, you can't say that the Samsung J7 has the better display out of all these phones. Well, I think that I can, and this is just my opinion. So, and I'm being most objective as I can, but some things are subjective. You might like, you might not like AMOLED displays, but just giving it to you right here. I have black wallpapers on all of these, and don't think that I'm cheating by having a black wallpaper. I'll change the wallpaper to a more colorful, vivid one in just a second. And I'll just use whatever default wallpapers are on these phones, because they all have great wallpapers. But just looking at these displays, I think that out of these two phones, the Samsung Galaxy J7 has the better display. Even though it's 720p, it still has the better display, because I feel like AMOLED, and I'll put something on here that you can see a lot of colors. I feel like AMOLED is just the better technology. Let's see what they got on here. This is a good colorful one. Oh yeah, that really shows off how beautiful that phone is. And then on this one, I'll use this one. So you're getting a taste of different wallpapers that come with these companies. And this one doesn't come with this one, so I'll be fair, because someone's gonna say that doesn't come with that. So I'll use this one. It's a brighter one. I could go with a darker one. I'll switch to a darker one. Either way, I still feel like AMOLED is better than IPS displays. So these are all default wallpapers. Here you go. So when I compare these two, I just feel like with the icons and everything, I think this screen on the J7 looks a worlds better. I just think it looks better. It's just a better, sharper, more vibrant display. Now, when I compare it to these two phones, this phone right here, now unfortunately Samsung doesn't give wallpapers like this on this device. So I can take that wallpaper that's on there. It didn't come with the Samsung device, but I can use this as an example. You can see the colors are represented a lot differently. I still say that the AMOLED display brings a more vivid colors to the device. I really like AMOLED displays, and I think a lot of people like AMOLED displays. For one, they get brighter in sunlight. With all these phones in direct sunlight, this is the brightest. This phone gets bright. It even has an outdoor mode on here. You can just hit the button and boom, you go to outdoor mode. So I've answered your question about displays. Now let me put my favorite wallpaper back on here that I made for each one. So the display technology, I think, is best on the Samsung. Question number 1 answered. Here you go. Question number 1 is answered. Oh, wrong one. Sorry. That question is answered. Here we go. Now, let's move on to what should I talk about next? Because I'm trying to give it to you the best way possible. Okay, let's go to cameras. Now, I've got my famous props here that I always take pictures of and things like that. So I'm gonna do it live right now for you. This is a very bright and vivid thing to take a picture of. Now before I do the camera test, for quick access, this is the best one. You just twist your wrist. The Moto G is the best one to take pictures with. I've got some things for my HTC 10. I've got some very vibrant, bright yellow things to take pictures of. And I'm gonna put this orange right in the center. So I'll start with the J7. To launch the J7, you can go to the application, or you can just double tap the home button and boom, there it is. So I'm gonna slide this in view here. I'm gonna take a picture, wait for it to focus, boom, bring it up. Now there's the picture. Now I'm gonna twist, take a picture, and move this out of the way. Wait for it to focus. There's a picture. Oh, bumpy cam. All right, now I'm gonna take a picture with this one. For it to focus and bring it up. All right, so here are all the pictures taken with each camera. Here they are. This is uh-oh, man, that power button is sensitive. All right, so here is the just washed out J7 photo. When you compare it to these, man, the J7 to me loses big time. I mean, it's just washed out, oversaturated. It just looks bad. So J7 just loses out on this. That just looks horrible. So the J7's out. Now, comparing these two, let's take a look here. So we're gonna tap here and zoom in. Tap here and zoom in. Let's see if I can get it in the same spot. Now, when I'm looking at these, try not to do a bumpy cam. When I'm looking at these, this is a tough one because both of these are super sharp. But I think the Moto G is producing a better photo in this photo. The blacks are really black. You see they're kind of grayish on here. I don't know how well that comes across from camera, but the blacks are super black on here. The text is pretty sharp compared to this one. So in this particular quick shootout, I think the Moto G has the better camera. Now in different lights, yeah, in different settings, yeah, the what's the name? The ZTE Max could do better, or the J7 could do better. But just taking real world tests right there for you real fast, this phone had the better camera. And I took colorful stuff so you can kind of see how it, and that's got black in it, a little bit of white, it's got some orange, it's got a little bit of blue if you notice. So in that particular situation, I like the G4's camera better because it performed better at that moment. A quick shot of the camera, boom, done. So overall, with these cameras, I also feel like, now I'm not gonna do a front video test, But video on all of these is pretty good. The J7 comes in last for video for me though. But the cameras on both of these are so neck and neck, but on the rear, these are so close. And these all have 13 megapixel cameras, sorry about that. But this one right here, gosh, man, the front camera on here is just a beauty. So the cameras on this device, take it for me. The front camera on here is just really good when I compare it to all of these. So the Moto G to me has the better camera in the comparison for these. Now you're probably saying, Jay, you're not doing a real detailed camera review. Yeah, because I don't want this video to be 45 minutes. I'm touching on a few things here to show you how I feel about all of these phones at the same time. I didn't want to do separate videos and all this. Okay, so let's move on. Let me stop jabbering. So I talked about the screen. I talked about the cameras. Let's talk about build quality. Now right away, I can tell you that the J7 loses this battle. It's the most slipperiest of them all. It's a pretty one, but it's very slippery. It is very slippery. And I'm talking about feel in hand when I'm talking about build quality at this point. I'll move to other things because I know you're probably thinking features, but build quality overall, just holding this in your hand, this one comes in last place. Now, when it comes to this one has a soft touch matte back, right? Matte back, really nice build quality, feels good in the hand. I like that. This one right here is the heftiest one of the crew, but it feels real good in the hand. So which one of these do I like to feel the best in hand? It's gonna be the Moto G4. The Moto G4 definitely feels the best in hand. The materials they use, it's actually really, really good. I like it when comparing it to these two devices at this time. So the Moto, it's also a little bit easier to hold too because this is 6 inches. So there you have it. The Moto G4 is the best in hand feel of these phones. Now let's go to features. This has an SD card slot, this has an SD card slot, this has an SD card slot. This has adaptive storage, this has adaptive storage, this does not have adaptive storage. Deal breaker. This has a removable battery, these two do not have removable batteries. These, I'll go ahead and I'll jump to battery. No, I won't jump there yet. I'll talk about that in a little bit. So the Galaxy J7 has a removable battery, these two don't. This is a 3,000 milliamp hour battery. This is a 3,000 milliamp hour battery. This is a 3,400 milliamp hour battery. So that feature, SD card, removable battery, you might say, yeah, the J7 takes that. Well, it does because it has a removable battery. I'll go ahead and go to the battery. It has a removable battery, but that's not all. This has the longest battery out of all of these. This phone right here, I've gotten an average of almost 7 hours on a single charge, screen on time, not just having the phone. This one comes in next. I can average about 6 hours of screen on time with this one, 5.5, 6 for sure. And this one comes in last when comparing these right here. I can get 6 hours on here, but I can't average close to that. So this one wins the battery round, and it has a removable battery. Now, it doesn't mean that these are bad because, you know, this one right here is a 3,400 milliamp hour battery, but I can still get about 6 around that. I can keep 6 hours of screen on time with that one. So battery king, yeah, this is still the battery king. Now, and just keep watching this video because you'll be surprised at what I say throughout the video or towards the end. Not that I know what I'm going to say, but I already know how I feel about each one of these devices. So I have to compare them this way to get these questions answered all in one video. So next, let's talk about a little bit of features. Now, the Samsung phone can be customized in a lot of ways, like with their overlay. It could be customized. You can change the font, and you can do that with every device, but this phone has it kind of built into it already, themes and everything like that. Some people hate TouchWiz, some people love TouchWiz. It's a love-hate relationship with me. I personally like being able to customize my phone a lot with TouchWiz, with all the themes and skins and things like that all built in. But overall, I can take stock Android too, and both of these have stock Android. The better of these two, as far as the stock Android preference, it's the same. These two are actually running the same internals. It's amazing. And I've got animations turned off on this phone because it goes really slow. with some of the things on this phone, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But feature-wise, this J7 has the most features, but at the same time, a lot of people might not like TouchWiz. I'm a fan of TouchWiz, but if I had to choose one of these as far as a feature set, or just looking at them as is, this may have more features. This may be the most compact in hand with stock Android, but I prefer this one because it's very smooth, very fast, with the overlay it has, which is just stock Android, and they added like a radio in there, a radio app or something like that, and that's been pretty much it. This one performs very, very well. The reason I didn't pick this one for performance is because Samsung does not have good RAM management. They don't take care of the RAM in the phone very well. And that's just kind of a bad deal. You know, let me clear out this email real quick here. Sorry. They don't have good RAM management. And that's just a bad thing, because I took one of my phones from overseas. People call them China phones, and I matched up against this one, and it slaughtered this phone right here in a speed test. And it's pretty amazing that Samsung just won't take care of their RAM management. It's just mind-boggling. But I would choose this one right here over all of these as far as performance goes. Feature set, yeah, this one's got the most features, so to speak. But the way this one is put together with the stock Android and the the 6-inch screen, it's to me, it's better rounded for me, I would say, because I get a bigger screen here, and I just kind of like that a little bit better. Let me see here. Now another feature. I'm dipping a little bit, but I'm doing features. Believe me. These two don't have fingerprint readers, and this one does, and it has it in my favorite spot, right there on the back. Yeah, right there on the back. These two don't have fingerprint readers. You can put a code in with these, but this one having a fingerprint reader gives it the advantage, because the overall, a lot of phones, the package that you're getting here, this one costs the most, and then this one, and then this one. But the fingerprint reader on here gives it the edge. It gives it the edge to me, in the feature set. Having a fingerprint reader is just really easy. It's not the fastest fingerprint reader, but it is there. And we start talking about price point, which I will in a little bit. It accommodates very well. So we've established that I like the screen on this one better, the battery's better, the feel in hand on this one is better, the cameras are better. This one has a fingerprint reader and a much bigger screen, and the performance on this one is a lot better. Now the bigger screen thing, that's a preference. I like big phones, and I like small phones, but of the big phones, this is the big daddy right here. So they each kind of have a couple of things I like about them a lot. Wow, how do I round this off? I want to talk about, I talked about feel in hand, but let's talk about looks. Because looks is something that people actually look at in a phone. They look at that. So let me just go ahead and say it. I like the way this one looks, then this one looks, then this one looks. That's very simple. I think this one looks the best. Another thing I just wanted to point out real quick. Feature set, you have the Moto, light that comes on, the always on display on the Moto, and that is a huge plus. A huge plus. Having the always on display is great, because I have a Moto Z also. And having the always on display on here, that's a feature, but it's not something that I'm gonna just jump up and down about. It is a nice feature, but a feature or a characteristic of a phone to me is that fingerprint reader, or having a front LED flash like this one has. And but it may have a front LED flash, but this camera right here is phenomenal. The Moto G's camera is great. Overall package though, let's talk about pricing. This is $240, but you can get it as low as $140. This is $200. Now, I know I talked about fingerprint readers. There is a plus version of this one, but I don't have it. I have the Moto Z, and that doesn't, I don't want to put that in this lineup yet. But there is a plus version of this, and you get a 16 megapixel camera and a fingerprint reader. But I don't think that will put this one on top, so to speak, because the camera's already great on this one right here, so it will be even better with the other one, but it just would add a fingerprint reader. So $239, as low as $149, and probably lower than that if you search around. This one is is in the G4 model, not the Plus. The Plus goes up to $299, so it kind of bumps it out of the range a little bit. But this is $200, and you can get it as low as $149. This one is $179, but you can get it as low as free, depending on how you start your service. You know, you can get it at a very low price. You can get it free or like 30 bucks or something, depending on how you start your service. Because Metro PCS has port-ins, and they'll give you the phone for free in my area if you port in a number. So there you have it. So overall package, I made a comment online about this phone could easily be the phone of the year. Here's why I said that. And I may be comparing it in this video, but here's why I said that. This phone has a 6-inch display. It's not the best display. I'm just being honest, it's not the best display, but it is really, really good. I used to think this was the best IPS display that I had on deck, but this is now one of the best in this price range here. This phone is fantastic. And even if I were to match it against higher end phones, which I will do because I'm gonna put it against the iPhone 6s Plus, this phone is a fantastic display for a 6-inch display. And I feel like this is more of a complete package. Like if I had to sell a person, if I was a customer service rep at a store and all 3 of these phones were here, I would sell them this phone. Here's the #1 reason. Now you can get this phone again. You can get this phone with a fingerprint reader and a 16 megapixel camera. However, you're gonna pay $300 for it. You see? So if a customer is walking in and they say, hey, you know, I need to start service, or all these are on the same, let's just hypothetically, these are all on the same network. I got to start service and I need a phone. I'll take a 5.5 or bigger, or just around that size, 5.7. Okay, great. Let me show you these 3 phones. This phone right here has a fingerprint reader, elegant design. The cameras on here may not match the cameras on the G4, but they're doggone close. It's doable. Because I hear a lot of people say it in their videos that everybody just does social media right now. That's correct. A lot of people just do social media. If you want a full-fledged camera, go buy a point and shoot. That's what you do. You don't try to use your cell phone for everything. Because a point and shoot probably costs less than a cell phone at this point. This has a fingerprint reader, a 6-inch display. The price point, you could get it for free. And I've already put up an unlock video where you can get this unlocked for about 30 bucks or less now. You can get it unlocked for a lot less. Just the complete package. The screen is beautiful. It's running stock Android. It's very smooth. It may have the same internals as this, but this runs a lot better. I had to turn off animations with this. And you know, it's just one of those things that to speed up the phone, I needed to do that. Just overall, it's amazing how I move stuff around, not even trying. Overall, to me, this is more of a complete package because I'm getting more for media content. Now the speakers on these, you know, this may have a front-facing speaker and it's going to be louder than, it's going to appear to be louder than both of these. But still, I would still tell a person to get this phone because of the price. The bang for buck that you're getting pretty much a little bit of both of these all in here. And you get it at a lot lower price. And it's just a beautiful package. Sometimes it's hard to explain to a person. You might say, well, Jay, you said I get better battery on here. Yeah, you do. You do, but you're still getting fantastic battery on here. This costs upwards of 240 bucks. This, the highest price on this is $179. And all of these can be unlocked. This is already unlocked, but this can be unlocked too, and this can be unlocked. All for an affordable price. $5 codes, $20 codes, whatever you want to go with. They all can be unlocked. They all can be unlocked. So when I look at packages, why would I tell a person not to get this phone? It's not that I like it so much, because I have all of them. I'm enjoying all of them. I can switch my SIM card out at any time. But this phone right here has been second place now since I got it. The Z is up at the top. The Moto Z is at the top. I'm going to give you guys some 1+3 coverage, I promise. But this has been second in line, my second in command. I'm guaranteed fantastic battery life. This is great for media consumption. The speaker may be on the back, but it is not very dull. It's kind of loud. It's not going to knock your socks off, but I'm still getting a pretty decent speaker. And one other thing that I didn't mention yet is USB Type-C. Now this phone, I don't know if it has fast charging. It doesn't say it, but it charges pretty fast. I don't charge my phones with them powered on because I want them to charge as fast as possible. So if you have the pleasure of having different phones, it's good that you can take your SIM card out and power the phone and charge it. It charges pretty fast. It doesn't have turbo charging like the Moto G4, but it still charges fast to have a big battery. I would say in about an hour and 20 minutes, this phone could be charged to 100%. From about 10%, in about an hour and 20 minutes, it could be charged to 100%. And that's really good for a 3400 milliamp hour battery and a phone that does not have turbo charging. I kid you not, bumpy cam. So, I mean, just the overall, you get capacitive buttons also. And I like capacitive buttons. This may have a 5.5 inch display, but it's got on-screen buttons. The capacitive buttons here is perfect. It has an this circle right here illuminates, it pulsates. It just pulsates when you get messages or when it's just idle. Very nice. Now, let's talk about some dislikes real fast. Gotta talk about some dislikes. No phone goes without flaws. And I'm also gonna answer questions about the G4 that people have been asking. And they've been asking about heating issues and the camera. So since I shot my G4 video, I've been doing a lot of footage with my Moto Z. I haven't really been using the G4 that much at all, unless I'm in between phones and I want to grab a phone, just pop a SIM card in it, I'll grab this one. The G4's camera will shut off on me if the phone gets too hot. It doesn't shut off, the phone doesn't have a heating issue by itself, but when you run the camera for an extended period of time, I'm talking about maybe just 15 minutes or so, and it's like 110 down here in the ATX where I'm at sometimes. This phone heats up, I'll just say it heats up really, really fast. So you have to always be in a cool environment to use this phone, it appears. I don't know what that's about, but it just will not stay cool. The camera app, the phone, when you're using the camera app, it heats up very quickly. I mean, very quickly. It heats up. So that's a huge drawback. It has great cameras, but they heat up so quick. The phone gets so hot in the camera, you'll get an error message saying that the camera is closing down due to this, right? Dislikes. And these are just my dislikes. You might not. Now, that's a huge flaw for this phone. But both of these have the 5 gigahertz band. This one has the 2.4 gigahertz band and does not have a 5 gigahertz band. I mean, I know you got to give up something because this phone is a monster device, but not having the 5 gigahertz band, I've said it before. If you know me, you know that's one of my pet peeves, man. I love the 5 gigahertz band. I love it. And it doesn't have it, man. So therefore, when I'm on Wi-Fi, the speeds, you know, and you're probably thinking, Jay, you got 500 megabits down. Well, I can't get that on this phone, man. I can get very fast speeds on the 5 gigahertz band here, but not here compared to these. Really. Now with the J7, I just think the build quality on this, when you start to compare phones a lot, the build quality on this, it just looks like a slouch compared to the it's right here. And you know I love my J7, but it just looks like it's cheaply made when I put it next to phones like this, man. It just like they could have put one a different material, just a bunch of different. This fake metal around the sides, this hard plastic. I don't know. It just does not feel good when compared to these two phones right here. And if there's anything I could dislike about the Moto G4, the camera application takes a while to launch. Now it launched pretty quick that time, but normally the G4's camera application takes a bit of time to launch, and then the performance on here is not up to par to this phone, and they're running the same thing. These benchmarks, shout out to TK, he benchmarked the Plus and this phone, the G4, and they benchmarked the same. So what does that say about the RAM management, or what does that say about the way Motorola/Lenovo is putting together a product? How can these have the same internals and this one run a heck of a lot smoother? This one even benchmarked a little bit higher, just a little bit higher than this one. Let me see if I got a screenshot real quick on camera right here. I'm gonna see if I got a screenshot of the benchmarks that I took for these. Because I took benchmarks on both of these. And I believe this one benchmarked a tad bit higher. Oh shoot, where's my benchmark at? I don't have the screenshot of the benchmark on this one, but I do have the screenshot of the benchmark on that one. And this one right here benchmarks just a tad bit higher than this phone. I don't know. Not that that matters about the benchmarks, but what I'm saying is this one performs a heck of a lot better than both of these. And this one had, but the weird part about it is this has an Exynos processor in it, and it is a powerhouse, man. You can really feel it in performance, especially with battery. But when I compare it to this phone, overall, this one runs a lot smoother. No hiccups at all. I get a force close on here every time I power the phone on. And it could just be something that I've installed, but it wasn't always doing that. And I installed the same applications. Shout out to that person who said, Jay, I like watching your videos on what's on my phone, but they're pretty much all the same. Respect. And I was like, okay, yeah, respect, because I do set them up the same. I have a social, Google, business, and games, and that's it. But let me rename this thing here. But overall, man, I think when I made the comment, this can easily be the phone of the year. These bugs are coming into my spot here. Get out of here. When I said this phone could easily be the phone of the year, I mean that. The reason being is because the price point of this phone and what you're getting in the complete package. Hey, if you disagree, I understand. I respect your opinion. Just respect mine, because I have them all here. If you don't have these 3 phones here, and I've got other phones laying around, but you know, I just choose not to put them in this video. And a lot of them are in my other room over there. But if you just disagree, I respect that. I can't stress that enough, that I respect your opinions, but I have them all here. And this phone is a complete package right now. Other OEMs need to take notes. This phone isn't unlocked, but it can easily be unlocked, and it can work on any GSM carrier. This phone works on all carriers. This phone can be unlocked to work on GSM carriers. But this, to me, is the complete package. Complete package. Multimedia king right here. Big screen. And shout out to my Project 13. That's what you guys call him. I call him Anthony. He said this is the Nexus 6 with a fingerprint reader. Now, Nexus 6 owners can get mad if they want to, but the fact of the matter is, this is a powerhouse. That's a compliment, if anything. That's not a Nexus 6. Listen, this is a beautiful, it may not have no front firing speakers, but that's totally worth it, because, I mean, you can get the Nexus 6 now for probably about 200 or 300 brand new, because it's still a great device. However, this is a complete package right here. Let me clear out these emails so I can keep coming in. This is a complete package. So out of all these phones, all those questions people kept asking me, well, which phone would you recommend out of this right here? And which phone would you recommend out of this right here? I recommend this phone out of all of these, even though I didn't put this in the video, this over all of these. The price point in the package that's put together, this one trumps these right here. Now in my video, you see, I didn't say that this was the best in everything, so don't say I'm not being fair. I said the good things about both of these, and I said good things about that one. But overall, this is the one to buy, folks. It's on Metro PCS right now. Yeah, that's a downer. But I've already told you, several other YouTubers have told you, you can get it unlocked. Start the service, get the phone. Let me tell you something. Get the phone, buy the unlock code, don't pay the bill. It's just that simple. And you got your phone for 130 bucks. Or however, if you can get it for free on a port in, dude, get it. But this is the phone to get out of all these phones. That is the total package. I'm done.